Well, here goes nothing. We were growing up, we wanted to become the special people in this lonely, broken place. And after all the years had gone, only a few of us ever reached our goals. Some of us are still trying hard. Do you know that's all we wanted, was to have a dream? Do you know that's all we wanted, was to have a dream? Our ambitions are sacred to us. They keep us moving forward in our lives. You don't have the right to make it die in us. You don't have the right to destroy. Do you know that's all we wanted, was to have a dream? Do you know that's all it wanted, was to have a dream? To the governments of the world, to greed, to anger, to war, to hatred, to racism, to religion, to disease, to destruction, to the bombs, to confusion, to reality, to the jealousies, to the governments of the world. Do you know that's all we wanted, was to have a dream? Do you know that's all we wanted, was to have a dream? Do you know? Hi. That was harder than I thought it would be. Ouch. I'm out of practice. Doesn't help that the chair is all wanky too. We'll have to try that again sometime. Hope you have your vino. We may need it this evening. I have the jitters, and it's not even because of coffee. Hi, everyone. Here, let me get this computer closer to me now, so I can monitor the chat and be your host for this, I don't know, might be a short evening. I don't know. I honestly don't know. Let me turn off this because we don't need effects to chat. It's been a very weird week. A very weird week to start off 2021, I must say. Which almost made it so that I wouldn't do one tonight. Because I felt that maybe it was too close and I didn't know how to react to it all, to be honest. I have mixed feelings about all this. But thanks to one of you, which I can't name right now because, oh, check this out. Well, we'll play a song first and then we'll get to that other stuff in a minute. But ooh, someone wrote, "Happy birthday, David Bowie." Ooh, very good. That's actually cool, Eric, that you brought that up. Happy birthday indeed to David Bowie. Because, ouch, my hand really hurt from that. Gotta get a better guitar, folks. It's good that it was David Bowie's birthday because tonight I'm gonna play you an EP that kind of went the wayside. But I was wondering what to play tonight, and someone had asked to buy it and realized that all the links to it were down. And I realized it's not on Bandcamp, and you can't really get it from the site anymore because that link broke. So I wound up going back to the masters, and I remastered the whole EP again to make it sound a little better. It's an old one from tape. So I thought I'd play that tonight and tell you a little bit about it because I've never talked about it. It's just something that existed and that was it. So, but we'll get into all that. There's so much to talk about, right? But there's the obvious, of course. I don't know. I don't know what to make of all of it, to be honest. I wish it hadn't happened. That's not how I envisioned that sort of thing was going to go down. So it's a really weird thing to discuss. So I'm not going to discuss it in detail. But I won't mind if you ask me questions and I will answer them about those feelings. Because obviously I'm pretty sure there's a division of how people are reacting to this, and it's hard not to be on a side because that's how everything is mired nowadays. You have to be on a certain side. There can only be two choices or dwindle down to one. But if one were to be the only choice, that's scary too. And that's kind of what's scaring me the most, to be honest with you. Not having any choice. But not that I'm going to be serious all night because there's funny stuff too, but I don't know. It's just my mood. Anyway, so here, let me switch screens. Ooh, switching screens. Oh, there's the moon. You know what that means, right? You know why the moon is there? Do you want me to tell you why the moon is there? The moon is there because Bitcoin's going to the moon. Bitcoin is going to the moon. And if you were here, like, I don't know, 17 Quaranstreams ago, you saw when I said I bought my first Bitcoin and I fell asleep on it a long time ago. And had I done it, I would have been rich. Well, I don't know. It could happen anyway. Because at the rate it's going, if it keeps going, literally, if it keeps going like this, I may buy a house by the end of next year. I think I'm going to climb out of all the doldrums slowly but surely. So I'm not going to knock it. To the moon, baby. A friend of mine sent me this. And while I would love to just say the name of the person and say thank you and all that, you know I can't, and you know why. And so that form of strange censorship that exists, see, is already weird on one person. That's me. So can you imagine if everything was that way, that you couldn't say a single thing about anything because by saying it you could get in trouble? Just for having a certain thought. So to me, that's a big deal. This is why I can't actually tell you who sent me this shirt, because I have to censor that due to circumstances. So think about that for a minute. Why can't Claude tell us who sent him that shirt? Think about that. But anyway, buy tacos with Bitcoin. No. I'm going to save it because every time I look at the computer, the little Satoshis go up, up, and up, and that makes me happy. And by the way, I'm going to start calling Ethereum's ethies for the little ones because that's going to the moon too. But anyway, I'm going to play a song because I said I was going to play a song and I haven't done anything yet. So do you guys remember that? So this was an EP that I had put out and given away for free. This was around 2013. And that particular EP that I just showed you on the screen was kind of a foray into getting the mailing list up for the Distances album. So it served its purpose. And it was out, and then it disappeared, and I didn't really follow what actually happened to it after a while. So recently, when I've been doing posts, people have been asking, hey, I can't get that EP anymore. And I was like, no, you're right, because you can't sign up for any newsletter or anything like that. So basically, everything that led you to this EP got broken. So rather than try to fix the links, I thought what I would do is tonight I'll play it. And then by tomorrow, because it won't be tonight, I tried to get it done before the Quaranstream, but it was almost impossible. But I've remastered all of it. And so what I'm going to do is tomorrow I will put it on Bandcamp and it will still be free. So I'm still going to put it as a freebie on Bandcamp, but that will be tomorrow. But tonight you'll get to hear it. So, first song from the Rarities EP. I can't even say it, which is funny. Yeah, Claude, let's find the right thing here. There we go. Okay, first song, Nostalgia. From 1990, by the way. So, sorry, I need the wine right now. I don't know why, but I do. Although this is not wine, but I need it. I even considered consuming a gummy before this show. That's how nerve-wracked I've been. So Mikey's been watching cult documentaries. That's great. We don't need them. We can just watch TV on our own stations and see it. We're living with two of them. Whoa, Mikey, are you saying that your aunt passed away yesterday and your uncle's in the hospital from COVID? Is that what you're saying? Man, I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. This is why it's so important to. I don't know what to say to that. I'm sorry, man. I don't know what to say to that, Mikey. I don't know. It sucks. Man. Yeah, it's. I'm trying to read the comments. I guess I'll jump into comments and just and speak that way. But it's very difficult. It's very difficult to mitigate it. But there's a part of me. Look, I'll tell you something that I read today that was very. It cut into me. But it cut into me because I think that people believe I don't take it serious. And that's just not true. I wear a mask when I leave the house. I will wear a mask if I go into a supermarket. I will wear a mask if I'm outside and there's a lot of people about. There are certain times when I don't. This is when I don't wear a mask. I don't wear a mask if I'm walking by myself on the beach and there's no one around. And even if there's people coming up to me and they're like 20 feet away from me, because obviously if you're on the beach, you can veer around them. In those situations, I don't. I don't wear a mask when I'm driving. I don't. There's no science that's going to tell me that that's something I should be doing. And I don't wear a mask inside the house. So that's the mask part. So let's get that out of the way. I take it seriously because obviously if I go into a supermarket and I forget my mask, guess what? I have to go back home. So I always have the mask in the car. I have a mask. I have like a whole bunch of them, right? Well, I have to wash them now. But I have like 6 of them in the house that are all mine that I wash and I wash my hands constantly. Look how clean my hands are. I don't know if you can tell in black and white, but my hands are clean. And that's just a force of habit. So those things are fine. It's what I find interesting is that when I approach certain people of the medical field with some of the things I've found, they're aware of it. And so what they'll say to me is, no, we know that helps a lot. Yeah, of course. Yeah, we know all about it. I'm like, well, then why aren't you telling more people? Why aren't you like on this 24/7? Because if it was so important and if all these papers make sense, why wouldn't you do it? And that is an answer I haven't found. So to me, when I read a study, for example, and this is just getting off topic, but when I read a study and that study shows that 190,000 people were tested and that 54% of them would not have been in the hospital if they were efficient. That says something. And I feel like I haven't crossed that barrier yet, but I'm going to find someone that's going to make a computer model, and I'll be able to tell you how many people you could save per day if you just changed that messaging and reminded people to take their vitamin D. So there's my vitamin D moment. Because I think that that's important. It's not just about one solution. So I know everybody, it's like, go do your thing. But anyway, what got me was that that people think I don't take it serious. And that's, again, it's just not true. I've never not taken it serious. I take stances, and there are certain things I definitely don't agree with, but I definitely take it serious. Hence, I've been healthy for a year, and I've done what some people would consider not so safe things. Mitigation. So anyway, we were all saying that we'd love to live 1990 all over again. Well, I don't know. I had some crappy stuff happen to me in 1990. Who hasn't had something crappy happen every year that they were in existence, except for that, quote, magic summer that we all have? We all have the one, right? And sometimes if you're lucky, you have two or three, but, life is tough. It gives us a lot of challenges, and we have to face up to them. So for me, it's like, I don't want to start the year being afraid of everything. That's one thing I'm definitely not going to do. And then the other thing I'm not going to do is I'm not going to be afraid of real world action. Meaning, if I feel I have to go to, Long Beach City Hall, not to protest, not that. But if I feel like I have to go to, Long Beach City Hall and get my 2 minutes in front of the governor to talk, I'm going to do it. These are things I'm going to do. I'm not going to just stay quiet. When I feel that there's an injustice, I feel like I have to do something, okay? That's just my nature. I can't just sit by. So, but, that magic summer. Okay. So, anyway, let's play some music. You don't want to hear me talk. My mood is weird, so if I talk, I'm going to say all the wrong things. But I wanted to hang out with you guys because I know that it's been a weird week, man. You got to admit, it's been a really strange week. I don't care what side of the coin you're on. It's a flippin' weird week. I mean, not to put a too finer of a point on it, but I saw a guy that looked like Jamiroquai on acid dancing around inside of the chamber of Congress. I'm like, what? Like, I don't know what world are we in? Ay. There are two cults, Mikey. You just think there's only one. But I'm going to play another song. This one's called Goodbye and Then. And here we go. Yeah, might as well be from the tape. Forgot to turn the mic back on. So someone's asking, which studio? Actually, I'm glad you asked that question. That's coming from Hope April 8 on YouTube. I really appreciate that question, actually. That was from this entire EP, which is, I said I was going to talk about it, so I'm going to change subjects so that we don't get into weird, heated debates, because I actually don't want to get into debates. Let's just agree that people disagree. This EP came at a weird time, and I'll explain what was going on. We had just come back from touring on Peace. We were not quite ready for Worth just yet. That was in the planning stages, but we hadn't figured out what album or what was happening. For Peace, I had gotten to use an MPC. This is tech talk. I had gotten to use something called an MPC 60, which was a really cool piece, and I loved it. And I literally had it in 1990 for, towards the tail end of 1990 for one more week, and then I had to give it back because another band was coming into the studio that had let me use it, which was Formula One Studios. It wasn't my MPC. I hadn't bought my own yet. I hadn't made enough money to buy my own yet. Is the right answer there. So I had a week with it. And in that week, I sampled the bejesus out of almost anything that I could think of to make sounds. And the studio wasn't built yet. So all I had was a small mixer, $25 mic, my 2 synths, a drum machine, and the MPC. And it wasn't a studio. It was inside my house, which I was renting. And it was on the upstairs room where we sometimes rehearsed. We were lucky enough that that room was big enough to rehearse in, and we actually had rehearsals there. And we did something really trippy there one night, which I'll tell you guys about when I collect my memory better about this, about that day. But the big deal was that one afternoon we opened up the penny saver, and somebody was selling. The penny saver is our our rag that we used to like read, and there would be some little articles in there, but mostly it was like jobs and used gear and that kind of stuff, like the eBay of the time, maybe you could say. So I lost my train of thought, but yeah, so we saw this ad in the penny saver for a split 8, which was a sequential circuit split 8, and I wanted this thing. So Paul and I drove to this weird place, and I don't remember what beach it was, but it was a really weird beach. And I picked it up for about, I think it was $130. And then, so a lot of the songs that were on this thing were all recorded in that 1 week with this new split 8, me trying to make sounds and trying to get like as many ideas on tape as I could get, because I knew an album was in there, so I didn't know, like when I was going to get that MPC back. So I basically stuck to that MPC. And then, of course, there's more to this, but I'll get back to that. But anyway, it was a split 8. And so that's that. That's the studio part. So yeah, it was 1990 going on to 1991. It was right after, or right before we were going to start going through the steps of, I hadn't received all my publishing advances yet. I hadn't really gotten the advances from the record company yet. So literally, this was like, we're signed, we've been touring for a year, but not all the money's come in yet that we're supposed to get. So after much hoo-ha, finally the money came in, and then we were able to all buy stuff, right? And so I bought a studio after that. But before that, straight to cassette from my little mixer and a little $25 mic. So this next song, this next one from, I keep messing this up. How come? That's why. All right, let's bring this back. Dun, 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 dun. There you go. Now I won't make that mistake again. So that's the EP that you're hearing. And this particular track, back in black and white. This particular track is called From a Distance. Now, pay attention to the song titles, because you'll understand something about a connection to these song titles, if you're savvy enough, to other things that have come out since then. But this particular song is called From a Distance, for example. So, all right, let's play it. So, yeah. Well, as it turns out, probably 60% of that drum kit was later used for Where's Love and Happiness, although all the sounds are faster or, pitched to different sounds. But yeah, that kit is literally the kit that I created that later became, the Where is Love and Happiness song. So, hold on. Give me 1 second. I think I hear a knock. Whoops. My mistake. Someone says, do I get a prize? No one was there. So that's even weirder. Did my Uber Eats arrive? No, I don't do Uber Eats. The only thing I ever call out for is pizza, which we have a nice pizzeria that we, let me put it to you this way. It's not the best pizzeria. It's not the best pizza at all, but I love them because they're local and they're still open. So I try to support them and at least have pizza once a week from there just to keep them, to try to help keep them open, because it's really hard to keep anything open in California right now. So Mike says Cali pizza sucks. Yeah, it does. Except, this one's all right. And it is good. But, again, I do it because I really want to support them. They're the last one that's kind of open. That and there's a deli, a real Italian deli that's not that far from me, and they're still open. So I try to get lunch from there too if I can and stuff, because not enough. Maybe I'll get lunch from there tomorrow, but we'll see. But anyway, so yeah, so that drum kit was from Where's Love and Happiness. That's how, there's one of the buildings of connection. So at the time that I was writing this, I had this idea that two people had ceased seeing each other. So that was the idea. It's a breakup thing. And what I wanted to do was to sort of take each song and tell a story of the emotions of each person. Like, what are they going through? Person A, person B. And just switch perspectives between the two. And so a lot of it involved instrumentals, because I thought some of it's no words at all. I want them to just... So the idea is the person's thinking, and that's why the sounds are really like, and, trying to be more dreamy. It's just trying to evoke an emotion, I guess. But I don't know if I was successful, but that's what I was trying to do with the demos when I was doing it. So that one, that instrumental leads into this next bit, which... send you some pizza from Chicago, real pizza. Sure, I'll take it. I love Chicago pizza. That doesn't mean I don't like New York pizza or New Jersey pizza, Mike. It's good. They're both good. Wait, someone just wrote, I always thought that was a window curtain behind you. Who knew? Mind blown. Yeah, it's just a curtain. I had put it up to do visuals, which, let's see. Sorry. Ooh, visuals. I had originally put that up to do visuals so that it wouldn't just go into my living room and just look at my TV. And also make it so that, I could keep it, reined in a little bit. But, yeah, it's just a curtain. Mind blown, he said. Brent, Brent on YouTube, worse than Little Caesars? No, this pizzeria is actually really good compared to Little Caesars or any. It's not one of those. It's a downtown Long Beach pizza, and it's really good. We actually have one of the best pizzerias. Like, it literally won an award for being one of the best pizzerias in the country in Long Beach, which I absolutely love, which is the Fourth Horseman. I don't know if you guys ever heard of that, but look it up. It's a gothic horror movie pizzeria. You would love it, Mike, actually. The interior decor is all gothic stuff, and the pizza is just crazy, crazy good. And I know they're struggling to stay open. So I try to, like I said, I wish I was rich. I would help them out any way I could, but I'm not. Not yet anyway, but look, my Bitcoin. I've got the Bitcoin frenzy going on here in my head. Is the wizard on this side or the other side? That's a good question. That's a very good question. I will reserve that answer. Yeah, New Jersey, New York, Chicago pizza. That is just the best. Okay, really? You guys are going to ask me those questions. All right. So, for Manuel in Facebook, who wants to know what kind of pizzas I like. I'm actually not one of those weird people that likes, well, you're going to say I am one of those weird people because I do like toppings on my pizza, but I'm actually very fond of, you know how you know if a pizza is really good, first of all? If you can have it with no toppings other than the sauce and the cheese, and if it's good, just like that, then you know you're in a good pizzeria. So I will tell you that this is why pizza in New York and Chicago rule, is because the pizza is so good you don't have to have any toppings on it. Okay? That is true. But my favorite toppings, I don't know why we're talking about pizza, but okay, it's Quaranstream 37. That's what we do. Talk about pizza. Mushrooms, artichokes. And I know everyone's like, ooh, that's my favorite. No, pineapple does not belong on pizza. No, it does not. Absolutely not. I have, and anytime I've had to order it that way because someone else likes it, it's like way on the other half. I do not like pineapples on my pizza. No. Anyway, so in this section of the story, it's just contemplation, I guess. Anyway, we're going to go to a song now because I have to kind of balance it out. Otherwise, it's just going to stay on pizza all night. But I'll come in the chat, we'll talk. But this particular one is called Leaves in Autumn. So think about that title, Leaves in Autumn. And, you know, it's interesting. Some of these I would probably want to re-record someday. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how I feel about that. But, okay. Leaves in Autumn. So yeah, leaves in autumn. Short one. I know. Okay, so I'm going to tell you something funny. In this household, I do most of the cooking. And on Fridays, when I would do the Quaranstream, was when we would probably get pizza most. And so after the Quaranstream, when I was kind of hungry, I would know that there was pizza out there. Today, I didn't do that. So now we're talking about pizza, and there is no pizza out there. There is no pizza beyond that curtain. So you guys have made me hungry. That's so not fair. Yeah, pizza would have been good. But anyway. So yeah, so there I was for 1 week recording this EP. And if you're wondering, which no one's asked this question, but I'll have to talk about it. If you're wondering why there are no other voices on these recordings, was because it wasn't actually commonplace for them to be in there until we were like in the studio and we had already rehearsed these songs. And by the time we would get to real recording, that's at that time when we would start putting voices on things. This changed from when we used to live in New Jersey and we used to record all the time, because we would record our rehearsals, which you've heard some of our rehearsals, and obviously there's other voices other than mine on the rehearsals. Danya's, of course, is what I'm talking about. But in these particular batches of songs, by then, all of us had different places that we were living in and working on demos on our own. Although for that period, I didn't get any demos, so I can't say that we actually got many demos done that time. But these particular tracks were meant to be demoed, then rehearsed, and then properly recorded. It wound up never happening because by then we started writing different songs, demoed those, they became worth. We flew to Berlin, lost Paul on the way, all this crazy stuff happened. So all of these songs basically went underground. So you guys are so funny. So I get asked this question more than once. So because it's a techie question and I love techie questions, Jose on Facebook just asked me, Claude, which drum kits are great for music like yours? My answer's gonna sound snarky, but I'm not trying to be. I went through this period where I had one drum machine, which was a Sequential Circuits Tom, which I love to death. If you ever find one of those, get it. You'll love it. You won't need samples. And I loved it because I only had 5 sounds, but they could be tuned any way I liked. They could be panned. They could be reversed. So when you bring that kind of thing into it, 5 sounds can take you a long way. And I kind of like that. I feel like I started to lose something when I started sampling a lot of things, because it was harder to find what my sound would be if I have the same, 750,000 drum samples that everybody else uses. So after a while, I realized I was going to have to rein it all back in. So that's why when I made these kits that are on this EP, they're similar, because I was still in that mentality of, I have 16 pads, I'm going to use those 16, I'm going to tune them, I'm going to do things to them, but I'm not going to keep just going nuts. This changed later on, but so to answer your question, get something that makes the sounds you like. Don't necessarily go by recommendation. because it's going to be based on a sound you like. So I started off listening to, you know, punk rock, goth, then it became New Order, Depeche Mode, Kraftwerk. So because of the sounds they were using that I liked, I gravitated to those kinds of sounds. And I had to find, like, where are they getting these from? You know, and of course, most of it was samples of weird things. So, you know, so that's that. That's that question. And to get my mind off pizza, because pizza is not all there is, but at the moment, I keep closing my eyes and all I can see is pizza. And that's not good. That does not bode well. So he's asking, Manuel is asking another question, and I want to answer because I love good questions. You're going to find that I like good questions. Where do you think this LP, which I'm going to call it an EP, but where would it have ended up? It would have ended up, if everything had gone chronologically correct, this would have been somewhere after Worth and in between Hope. I think that's where it would belong. But because of where it sits right now, it's probably in Worth, pre-Worth territory. I mean, it's got the mood. So that's where that's what I would say. So, all right. Now that I've got pizza on my mind, I'm going to play another song. What did I just play? Oh, Leaves in Autumn. Okay. I just played Leaves in Autumn. Ooh. This one is weird. So, this song is called Left Behind.
Time slips away, and it feels
So, oops. I keep forgetting to turn the mic back on. So yeah, that was Left Behind. So I always have this. I've got this fascination with taking two very different things and putting them together. I do that with everything. I do that with art pieces. I do that with sounds. Like very common for me is to take a very clean sound, meaning a string, a violin or something like that, or even a piano, and then completely distorting it with some digital noise to create something new. So I like doing that a lot. I that's part and parcel of the way I work. So, but it also, that weirdness also finds its way in the way that I'll approach a style. Like, I know this song sounded like, someone said it sounded like Depeche Mode's or other. I don't know what song they were talking about, but someone said I just ate pizza. Thanks. But so yeah, I was thinking about, like, what would happen if you took a Depeche-like song, but you had the guy from, like, you had a Joy Division feel on it. So that's kind of like how I'll sometimes juggle styles, or like, I do that a lot. Sometimes subconsciously. I don't think I do it on purpose, but that'll be my goal. It'll be like, I'm going to sing the moodiest song that I can sing, but it's going to be a very fast and danceable song. Or the reverse. It's going to be a really super slow song, but I'm going to scream it the entire time. I have this weird compunction is the right word? I don't know. But that's kind of like where I sit on those kind of things. Sometimes I like to take those, things and mix them together. Which I may add, this is so funny, what a segue. This is why I can always look at both sides of anything objectively, because I can see the good and the bad in each thing and how they would work if you put them together. So it's a funny thing. But like Vega says, oh yeah, Take On Me is a good example. Yeah, it's a good example. A very poppy song, but it's got like all these weird tempo changes, and I love that kind of stuff. So yeah, I like doing that. Although I haven't done a lot of tempo changes. I don't think I have. I tend to avoid tempo changes, but I don't know why that is. So anyway, this next one is an instrumental, and to I don't know what I just saw. Sometimes the computer will like spit something out. It's like warning, and I'm like, what? I don't know. I guess it's not the net. The net's still there. I don't know. If something happens, it's just because the computer warned me about something. I don't know what though. But so yes, we're listening to the Rarities EP. That's been, cleaned up a little bit better than it was. And tomorrow I'm going to put it on Bandcamp for free, and you guys can just download it. Anyway, this one's called Take a Seat. And so here we go. I'm going to play it. Yeah. Anna on Facebook said it sounds very X-File-ish. Yeah, I was thinking of like how weird it would be if it was really dark and the person's like just waiting for that train, but meanwhile all these weird thoughts are going through their head about the things that have happened to them. Which is funny because when I was listening to it today, I kept thinking of all the things I'd seen on TV in the last 2 days in a weird daze as I was trying to work on it. And I was like, no, get that image out of your head. Get that image out of your head. So it was one of those funky transitions. Yeah, so that's that one. And I'm going to just jump into the next one because they're supposed to go one right after the other. So I'm just going to play the next one and then I'll come back and then we'll talk a little bit more because there's only 2 after this. So the person is on the station. The train has just come on. He is now on the train. Okay, so that's where we're at. He's on the train. The person's on the train. And this song is called Riding Through the City. Doesn't that sound familiar? Riding through the city. Anyway, Riding Through the City. So you think the train crashed? It didn't. It just stopped. It went through a tunnel and it stops, right? And so then the guy gets out, and like this was my head at the time. I was thinking of this whole thing, which is really funny. So I'm going to explain a few things. So the snare. The snare is not a snare that you would find on any kit on earth. I wish I still had it, but I don't. What that snare is actually a basketball being slammed on a slab of wood that was in the studio. I literally put a slab of wood on the floor, put a mic on it, smacked down the basketball, got the pa-choom, and then that became the snare. And that was the snare sound that's in there. And that snare sound, tuned slightly, was also the snare that was in Answer Me. So as like I said, a lot of these kits wound up being used in other songs. And I wish I had kept a backup of these sounds, because some of these I don't have anymore. There was a famous, you guys remember CNC Music Factory? So CNC Music Factory had done a remix for Stacy Q, and they had sent 2 24-track masters over to Formula One. And guess who happened to be there that day to listen to the 24-track tapes and sample the bejesus out of the kits? So I was there and I sampled a bunch of stuff. So the kick that you heard comes from CNC Music Factory, directly off one of those 24-track tapes. And there was and I don't miss that kick that much, because I mean, I have a gazillion kicks nowadays. But that snare sound, the way that it was recorded, I never was able to recreate that sound. Even when I tried to do it again, it didn't work. Because I think I recorded the room itself and it made this weird tunk. So yes, that is the snare that you hear in Answer Me. But on Answer Me, it has another snare on top of it, doing the top end. So that's why my answer from before was sample your own stuff or make your own drum kits, because it's so much more fun. Because when you have something that's completely yours, it's so much better when someone says, when someone asks me, how did you make that? Especially nowadays, I'm like, I made it. It's like, I made it. It doesn't exist anywhere else. You can't buy it. I love that, because then it's mine. It's really mine. And let's face it, in electronic music, that has become harder and harder, because almost everything can be bought. So that's why I love making my own instruments and my own sounds. It's so that I don't conform to anything. But this did have a lot of samples in it. One sound that was in there, I believe, actually came off Violator. I think I actually took a sound from Violator and used it on that song. But I think that was about the last of my... Because after that stuff, I tended to make my own samples from scratch. I didn't even bother. Like these days, I would probably not sample anything to make a new sound. I'll sample my own playing, which I think is more fun. But sampling other records at this point, I'm kind of over that. So, but I still love sampling. So the train has stopped. Our guy gets out, or girl, because it could be either of the two of them. Remember what I said, they're interchangeable. If I was making a movie about this, it would be switching between 2 different trains, going to 2 different places and 2 different train stops. That's how that movie would work. So here we go, the train stop. The train has stopped. And what is going to happen next? It's too bad that little bit doesn't continue because on the tape, I had done something else, but unfortunately the tape got cut off there and I had kept playing. This happens to me a lot when I used to record on tape. I would keep playing and then not realize that the tape had stopped. So that whole little dun 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 had a nice little long passage, and I had done some really cool stuff that I can remember, but it was never recorded. But someone asked me an interesting question on, looks like YouTube. Guillermo Techno. God, this question. Because I keep getting this question a lot, so. Question. If you have to take a vaccine to travel, even from state to state, or on a bus, or car, or do shows, what would you do? I don't know. I actually don't know. I don't know the answer to that question because I'm hoping that it doesn't come to someone trying to force me to take it because I am allergic. I don't think I can take it. It's a bit of personal information, but when I was young, when I was 9 years old, I was taken to get a vaccine. And this is a true story. I was taken to get a vaccine. Routine thing. It was the one, I wish I remember which one it was, but it's the one where there's two of them, to be honest. One is the one that they prick your finger. I don't know if you guys are old enough to remember that. So that one, and then one that was on my arm. And when they gave me the one that was on my arm, I wigged out. I completely wigged out. I wigged out so much that because I don't remember most of this part. My mom told me. She told me that I freaked out, flayed about, destroyed the entire office, like literally destroyed the office. Like I literally knocked over every piece of medical equipment that was in that room, tore a nurse's dress, like literally tore it from her arm, like I tore it off, and that I was having convulsions. And so this happened when I was 9, by the way. And then the aftermath of that was I had a migraine that lasted 7 days. And I remember that part because there used to be a carnival. See, this is funny. I'm digressing here, but there's a reason why I'm telling you this. So I have a song, or some of you know I have a song called Susan's Carnival. And I'll bring up carnivals and, like some stuff like that will come up. The reason that actually comes up is because the 7 days that I spent in bed, there was a carnival that was actually taking place outside my house. Like it was like I could walk outside and be on the Ferris wheel. It was like that close. They had closed the 2 streets between my house, and for an entire week, I couldn't go because it was horrible. Like I would have to be on injections to calm the pain. So I would wake up, watch people getting on the Ferris wheel and doing all the fun stuff. And on the last day that I felt decent enough to walk and get outside, they were already taking down the carnival. Because those days, it used to last like 4 days. Like it would start on a Thursday, then it would be Friday, Saturday, Sunday. By Monday, they would start doing whatever. So I missed out. However they did it, when it was done, I watched them take it apart when I was feeling better. And ever since that day, I had migraines on and off, like literally one to every 2 weeks. And that's been my life for a long time. So don't know the correlation, don't want to know. That was the end of it. After that, I have been very shy about that kind of stuff. So no thanks. I'll take my chances. So unless someone's going to force it on me. Someone says, do you have the round vaccine on your arm? Yes, I do. I have that one. I actually have 2 of those. So hopefully, but I don't, look, I honestly don't think I'll need it. I'm fine. I'm going to be okay. I'm not, if I could share, if I could say something that would probably make you really think I'm crazy, I will tell you this. I'm not going to die that way. There's a different way that I'm going to die, and it's not that way. And we'll leave it at that. So anyway, we're on the last song. The character has arrived at the train stop, and he's going to take that walk home. And, it was autumn leading into winter. We're on the last song. Yes, Vega, thank you. Vitamin D rocks. It really does. I don't think I caught a cold since last year, by the way. Anything. I haven't caught anything. Like, nothing. I don't even have sniffles. So. And it seems to be doing wonders for my migraines, because ever since I started back up, stress levels are down. I seem to be getting a lot good sleep, too. I didn't know this, but if you take it at night, vitamin D I'm talking about. If you take your vitamin D at night, it actually helps you sleep. I didn't know that. It's amazing. I've been getting such good sleep, such good dreams too. So I'm totally... No, you won't, Jim. Don't even entertain it. I'm telling you, you're not getting it. I'm zapping you. No, you are not going to get it. Wendy asks, do you deal with environmental allergies? Yes, I do all the time. Every time the environment changes, I have allergies. And they seem to do a number on my migraines too. So when the weather changes and I can actually feel the barometric pressure coming down on my body before most people do. And a headache will ensue. But I've learned how to kind of know when it's coming, and I can head it off at the pass, unless, of course, I've gone to sleep and I wake up with it. Then there's really nothing I can do about that. So, but yeah, I actually, well, here's a funny thing, Wendy. It may, because I've had less of it. I've had no sniffles this winter, thus far. It's really interesting. Seriously, nothing. So I'm like, man, I don't know. I'm thinking that this was... I think that the reason why vitamin D was so not talked about is because it cures a lot of things. And they don't want that out. But I don't know, man. Ever since I started taking it last year, I've definitely seen an improvement. So I'm not going to complain. But anyway... Last song. This one's called The Midnight Footsteps. And once again, I will definitely put this on Bandcamp tomorrow, and it will be free. Obviously, if you want to make a donation, you can, but you don't have to. But it's going to be free. I'm going to put it on there tomorrow so that it has a place to live forever in case, the site ever goes down again. And it's also because you can get the WAV files instead of just MP3s, and they sound better. So I'm going to play that one, and then I'll come back and we'll talk some more. Ooh. This is called Midnight Footsteps. Whoa, that's funny. That's not supposed to be there. I messed up. I messed up. But that was the Oblivion tribute album that you saw on the screen. But it brings up an interesting topic, because we're coming to the end here. So yes, I'm sorry that it may not be as long as you like, but it's tough to get into that headspace to do these more and more, because I want to do performing. And I should explain this. In the early days of the Quaranstreams, they were easier because I had an entire weird library of things that I could play that you had never heard before, so it got easy. So that was easy. But as I started to feel better from my surgery and all that other stuff, I started to get antsy. Like, I want to play songs for these people. So it's hard to do that here because I can't hear myself correctly. So I don't even know how the acoustic thing that I did today sounded, to be honest with you, because I couldn't hear myself at all. I mean, I could hear myself, but not in the way that I want to. The way that I would normally hear myself is I wouldn't be wearing headphones, and I would just hear myself from a speaker. It's hard for me to judge tones in headphones. I mean, that's nothing new. Most vocalists don't like headphones, but for me, it's really tough. I don't like it. I like hearing myself through speakers. So as I got antsier trying to do more performing and feeling frustrated because it doesn't come out the way I want, because I'd rather be standing, another thing, you know. So hopefully, we'll see. I've been in contact with the people who do the rehearsal studios, and it looks like they might get the green light, which means I can go rehearse, which would be good. I need to do that. I need to feel like I can do shows, you know. So eventually, hopefully I'll do shows. But anyway, I do have a treat for you, and it does involve that album, but not in the way you think. So one of the this is hard to do because I know I could step on it and totally make someone feel bad, and I don't want to do that. But one of my favorite songs or covers on the tribute album was Kiss of Love by Theater People. Surprise, surprise that I like that one, but I did. I really like that version a lot. And I realized you guys never saw or heard the remix of, at least I don't think I played it. You know, Theater People did a remix of Fast Forward as well. And it was one of my favorite mixes, period. It was one of my favorites. Oh, I said, did I say it wrong? I said Theater People, didn't I? That's dyslexia, Jim. That's dyslexia if I said it wrong. People theater. Or now you're going to make me second guess myself. But yes, I love their remix of Fast Forward. And I'm going to answer a question here before we get out. Oops. So, yes, I am going to be working on... I'm still... I got lucky this week because of Bitcoin. Sorry, had to give that plug to Bitcoin because it is going to change my life. And I can see that happening, and it can change yours. It's not too late. So because I've got Jim here in real time, so I'm reading what Jim is saying here, which is Peter is a brilliant remixer and musician and a truly wonderful human being. And yes, so because of this, I think that it's apropos to play this video, because I had done, one of the things I had done for that contest was that I had done different edits of the video depending on who had done the remix. So I know I played you Paul's remix, and you guys saw that video, but I never actually played the remix that People Theater did. So that's what we're going to close with. So I'm going to play that video with that remix. And after that, it is good night until number 38, which could be next week. I'm going to see about that, because I've gotten a bunch of... I'm going to see if I can get into some of those old VHSs and pull out some live shows and stuff and see if I can find something that we haven't played. So I'm going to play that remix, and after that, I'm going to say goodnight. I hope you caught the early part of this and enjoyed that too. If not, don't worry about it. It'll be there tomorrow. Again, the EP that we played tonight, I will actually put it on Bandcamp in the morning. I'm going to run that back up right after this show's done. So thank you, all of you, for spending this time with me. And I know it's been a hard week. Whether you live in the US or not, I'm pretty sure you're thinking, what the heck is going on over there? I have a feeling it's going to sort itself out. It's going to get a little rough for a little bit, but it will sort itself out. All these things always sort themselves out. You know, history has shown us that it doesn't stay dark forever. So it's going to be okay. So that's why I thought this song would be interesting to end on, and this particular remix, because it's so happy. So let's go back to that and let's play it. Ready? Here we go.
Love's the binding force that sets it free. And this is all you need to know. As above and so below. I can't explain at all. It doesn't matter. I can't explain at all. It doesn't matter. I can't explain at all. It doesn't we lie together all the time. The future's mine. When we lie together all the time. The future's mine. The future's mine.
I'm part of it. Can't you see it?